right, so the men's shot was awesome. I had Kurt Jensen throwing in the men's shot, and he threw 1965, and got 14th. And that's a ridiculous number to get 14th and not make the final. So, in the morning we're sitting there like, how the heck does he not make the final throwing 1966? Yeah, he was in good shape. He looked good in warm-ups. But again, it's a good experience for him to get there. He had to deal with a little bit of his first throw. The cameraman, sort of screwed him up a little bit. But that's stuff that you got to deal with, and that's what, the benefit of being there. And that experience helps a lot. So Kurt doesn't make the final, but the qualifying was exciting. It was entertaining. Kurt Roberts didn't make the final. A lot of big name guys. Corey Martin didn't make the final. And it's a lot of the younger guys, stepped up. So when that night, I was amped up. I was right behind the warm-up area, and I could see Krauser and Darrell Hill warming up, and John Calnis was sitting up top, and he's texting me to come up there. So I wanted to see the warm-ups to see how these guys were feeling, and you could just tell the energy was, in the morning, Kovacs had all the energy. Kovacs was killing everything. He was screaming when he was warming up. He looked good, looked strong. Not that he didn't look strong in the afternoon, but it changed a little bit. You could see the momentum in Krauser's face when he's hitting his warm-ups, and you could see it was game time with him. And with Darrell, every rep he took in warm-ups, he's shaking his head like, now's the time to play. And so I go up and I sit up with Calnis, because Calnis is doing a Facebook live feed, which I think was fantastic. I think it was an awesome idea. It's a great way to promote the sport. It's a great way to keep everybody in tune with exactly what's going on when NBC might not be showing the shot as much as we were. And Jeff Milliron's up there, and Callis is saying, who do you have on the team? I said Krauser, Hill, and Kovacs. And it was mainly from that warm-up. I knew Kovacs was basically a shoe-in. I thought by the end of the competition, I actually thought Whiting could have snuck in there. But I knew Krauser and Hill were going to make it because of the way they were warming up, because of their intensity, and the way that they were hitting very good positions. And again, this goes back to technical improvements. I think Krauser, has good, solid technique out of the back of the circle. He looked awesome. He's got a good finish. Going into that, after that first round, he went like 20-90. Darrell went like 20-70 or so, and you could just tell going into that second round, the energy was there. Krauser goes 22-11, and one thing that I said to Calnis and to Jeff was that I actually think that big throw helped Darrell get his 21-63, because he feeds off energy. He's an emotional thrower. He's an emotional dude, and you could see he walks in, and it was just like boom. And so seeing Darrell hit that, he's a good friend. He's part of our company, one of my other companies, and it was the intensity of those two throws. You knew they were going. 21-63 is pretty much guaranteed to go. So, going into that final fifth and sixth round, I thought, Kovacs was sitting at 21-03, then 21-09 going into the round 6. I thought Whiting was going to snipe him a little bit, and I wanted him to. I wanted Whiting to bump up to like 21-20 just to see what Joe would do, to see if Joe would go huge and respond well or not. And it ended up, it didn't matter. He went 21-95 on his last throw. He looked awesome in that throw, and I think that was a big weight lifted off of Kovacs' shoulders, is that he got that good mark going into Rio. But the one thing that I loved is like when they did their lap, seeing Krauser, seeing Kovacs, seeing Darrell, and they're walking around, they're talking to the young throwers, they're talking to guys on the track, they're talking to old coaches that they've seen. They're paying their dues and their respects to everybody. They came up to Calnis and I and shook our hands. Kovacs actually pointed at Darrell. He's like, "PA boys," like stuff like that is cool, because that's what's awesome with track, is seeing that emotional attack. Like you almost have that emotional feedback from them, and the young guys that are up and coming, they see that, and they see the expression that these guys have, and the reward that they have, and it's something that these, my own son can look at as, I want to work towards this in the long term. So it was Dude, the shot was awesome. The emotion's awesome. Everybody always wonders why a shot's so big in the U.S. And I think it's so big because of those types of performances fuel everybody. Fuel everybody for the next 10 years. People are going to be talking about those two big throws, and then Kovacs coming back, 21.95. You know, you're sitting there 21.63, third place. That's freaking awesome.